Hi guys, so I don't know how much you can see because I haven't really set this up before. I've never really done a tutorial before, but I've had so many people ask me how I made the devil cat. Let me just check that you can see that. Can you see that? There we go. I've had a few people asking me how I made this, and actually it was kind of by accident because I had some mica powder left from an old project and some of these little dragon eye beads. I hope you can see that all right. Left from when I did, and I still do, polymer clay, because you can put these in the oven at a low temperature. I've got them in bigger sizes as well. So I actually just thought I'd try them out in the mould, and it happened to fit really well. So I've got these cat moulds, and someone told me they're actually copyrighted. Someone's actually stolen the design from a designer, which I didn't know, but they're very readily available on Amazon, I think, as well as wish.com, eBay. They're all over the place. So I'm going to show you how I made the cat using clear resin, mica powder, the glass eyes, and I just put, you don't have to, but I just put a load of black glitter on the back just to finish it off, to stop it from being too translucent, because I think with the mica powder it would still be translucent through, yeah, it is. So if I show you here, I don't know how much of this you can see, but it's still fairly translucent. So I put the glitter there, so in everyday light it's not see-through. So anyway, so you take the mould and your eyes. Now what I do is, because you can't always see where the eye slit is and which direction you're putting it, so what I do is I hold it up to the light because they're slightly transparent, and I score on the back of it with anything. You can write on it, but I score on the back with whatever I've got to hand, just at a vertical line, I don't know if you can see that, where the slit is. So when I'm popping it into the mould, sorry, you can hear my cat meowing, I put it in the right way up, and I literally pop it into the mould. I do it before I dust the mould. Before I dust the mould. So I'll get another one out, and I'll do the same. So I'll just score on the back. So I'm going to hold it out to the light so I can see where the slit is. Score on the back in the vertical direction that you need it to be in, so you can see. I popped it into the mould, into the eyes. Now it has got three, I don't know if you can see, it has got 3 eye slots, but I only do the 2 because I think 3 eyes and makes it look a little bit scary. So so I've done it like that. You can look upside down as well to see if the eyes are in the right place and adjust them accordingly. So I've done 2. This one's got devil horns on, and I've put the eyes in there already as well. Now the mica powder I used for this one is this. It was fairly cheap. I think it's about £3 for a pot. And as you can see in the pot, it looks very black, but you can still see the hints of green and purple, and this is how it comes out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dust a mould, but I'm going to use a different colour because I've already got a green one. So I'm going to do, this is a nail mica powder, which is actually like a, I don't know, like a reddy blacky sheen. I'm just going to get any old paintbrush that I have to hand, because I don't want to spend a fortune on posh paintbrushes. Dry brush, dry mica powder, and you have to be quite generous, but not too generous because you don't want it to be big blotches. And I literally am going to dust the inside of the mould all over. So you can see it's going like a pinky red. Dust all around the eyes that you've put in, but don't dislodge the eyes if you can help it. And just ensure that that goes everywhere. I've already pre-mixed my resin. So I've not used this mica powder before in these moulds, so I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. But when I demould tomorrow, I will put it in with the pictures. So you can see I'm just using a brush to get into every single nook and cranny in there. And around the eyes again, make sure there's not a big build-up of dust in one section. So if there's too much, just I flick it out. I know it's a little bit wasteful, but I haven't used too much. So if you can see, there is a dusting. Let me just check you can actually see what I'm doing, of mica powder all in the mould. So I'm going to lift it up so I can see I've not missed any bits anywhere. And you can dust it in different colours as well, like for different patches, or do half one, half another. So that's one. I'm going to use the red. And another one, I want to try it in a pearlescent white that I've got. I've got a few different sort of mica powder, pigment powders. A lot of these are actually for nail art. So if you look up, I think they call them chrome powders a lot of the time. So a lot of these are actually for nails. So I do nails from home as well. So on my nails now, I've got a what they call a unicorn dust. So I want to try and buy some more so I can use it and see if it will get a nice effect. So this is a white nail powder that's used for what they call burnishing. So you rub it into the nails. But I've noticed it works just like a mica powder. So I'm going to get a new brush, but this is a bit long, so I'm going to trim it because they're only cheap brushes, so I'm not too bothered. So I'm going to trim it to make it a bit stubby so I can get into all the bits. Get rid of any flecks of brush because you don't want that in your mould. So this one is the horned cat. So I'm going to use the white dusting powder. Get it all in there. It's quite pearlescent, so I'm wondering if this is going to be really translucent, this one. But we shall see. I've just dislodged the eye slightly. Get into the horns. So I could have done the horns a different colour, but this is the first time I've used the horned mould, so I'm not going to bother anything too fancy. Just want to make sure it turns out okay. So I'm going to again get into all the corners. I am losing a few bristles off of this cheap brush in the powder, so I'm going to get them out with a tweezer at the end. Get right into the corner of the little ears, right up to the top. Careful not to dislodge the eyes. Get rid of any excess. I'm flicking that out. Doesn't matter if there is excess in there, but it can sometimes cause bubbling and cause the resin not to sit in the bits you need it to. So I'm going to get my fine tweezers and I'm just going to get rid of those bits of hairs that are in there now. So I don't want them ruining the design at the end. So get rid of those, not too many, which is good. You can also blow on it to get rid of excess powder. I do that sometimes, as long as you don't blow too hard, and it will float everywhere and get everywhere. But it's perfectly safe. You can, I think, also use edible glitter because that's very fine. So I've got two moulds, one dusted in a pinky red and the other one in a very pearlescent white silver. And I've already done my resin and I've let it sit for a couple of minutes. I'm using a new resin actually that I'm using for the first time today, so I'm not sure how it's going to behave. But it's from Liquid Diamonds. It was recommended to me by a lady on the resin pages. So it's very, very low viscosity, I think is the word, isn't it? It is like water. It's very thin. It's the thinnest I've ever used before. So I'm just I don't know if I've mixed enough either, so I'm going to experiment. So I'm going in the white one first. I'm going to pour it very gently because you don't want to dislodge too much of the powders. Go from the centre and just work its way out. Let it fill up a little bit. Going out into the horns. And that is probably enough for now. I might not have enough for this other one, so we'll see. I'll just fill it up to wherever it gets to. Get it into the ears, over to the sides. Not dislodge too much powder. Yeah, not too bad, just enough for two. And I think that was about 15 ml of mixed. This is a 2-to-1 ratio, so 1 part hardener to 2 part resin. I've not been doing resin very long, so I don't always get it right, but I'm working on it. I think I've been working with resin now for about a month, so I've never done a demonstration video either, so please bear with me. Making sure it's all in the horns. Oh, my gloves are rubbish as well. Trying to get every single bit out of here that I can. So this resin has got about a 24-hour setting period, which is fine, that's pretty standard. But apparently it does set even harder, obviously the longer it's sat for. So, seeing as I don't want it to be too translucent, I am going to glitter the backs again like I did with the first one. So I'm going to choose maybe a white silver glitter for one and a red glitter for the other, just so it sort of ties in with the colour schemes. And get rid of my gloves, so I don't need them now. So I've got my box of glitters here. These are all quite chunky glitters, but they're perfect just for sprinkling on the top. Don't mix them in. Well, that's what I do now. Don't mix them in because you don't want them to drop, because then you won't see them anyway. So I've got a white one here, quite a chunky glitter, and I'm going to use that for the white. Move that over. Just going to sprinkle a bit in the lid because you won't need much. And it doesn't matter about the bubbles then either, so you won't need to pop bubbles or get your heat gun out. Just a little sprinkling. Make sure you get it all up to the horns. My dog's growling. There's that. So the white one's done with the white backing, but I can see there's a little bit of blue glitter in there for some reason. So I'm going to get that out, hopefully. There, great, without flattening the other glitter to sink. So the red I am going to use, maybe I'll use a gold glitter actually on the red, like a goldy colour. Or should I use red? I don't know. I'll use red. Okay, I'm changing my mind again. I'm going to use red. It's not the same red, so I was a bit dubious about using it, but it's a like a Christmas red. Maybe a Christmas cat, that's fine. Oh, too much. So I'm only using a little bit of glitter, and I'm just tapping it, and it's not expensive either. Tap, 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 tap from a height so it doesn't drop in one place and sink. Tap, 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 tap. And that's it. And that is the method. That is how I made this one, but obviously in a different colour. So we've got the eyes in there, they're preset. The glitter's on the back as well, just to give it a covering, because otherwise it's quite translucent still. And the mica powder has been pre-dusted into the mould. And that's it. Leave to set for 24 hours. Thanks, and I hope this has made sense and you can see bits. I'm going to watch it back and probably won't be able to see half of it. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I hope it's helpful.